BRICS, I think. So you're getting that left out feeling. Tell us, Prashant.
So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Next week, the BRICS, the famous BRICS bloc that they're going to meet in South Africa. So I'm going to actually go across to the big wall and just tell you guys all about it. And it's going to be interesting for a bunch of reasons, but this is what I'm calling it, right? More bricks in the wall. Of course, you don't... It's from a song, obviously. But this is the summit which is taking place from the 22nd. That is Tuesday. It'll run till the 24th. And the meeting is happening in Johannesburg. It's a mouthful, but this is the agenda of the meeting. BRICS in Africa, Partnership for Mutually Accelerated Growth, Sustainable Development, etc., etc. Who's attending the summit? It's being attended by the leaders of the 5 countries. Well, you've got all of them except Putin. I mean, the Russian president is not attending. The foreign minister is attending. Mr. Putin, of course, is going to make a sort of video address to the summit. So it's going to be pretty big. Now, we talk about regional blocs, right? We're talking about a multipolar kind of world. We're talking about, power centers shifting, etc., etc. So where does BRICS stand in all of that? It's the, combined, the 5 countries now are about 31.5% of global GDP. The BRICS GDP actually is greater than the cumulative strength of G7 countries. I mean, that is quite interesting to note. BRICS countries are expected, and this is, by the way, the first report when Rupa Purushottam and others, when they put out, Goldman Sachs came out with that terminology, BRICS, they said, well, BRICS countries are going to contribute over 50% of global GDP by 2030. Well, there are indications that the bloc may be expanded. If it is expanded, you may actually get to 50% earlier. You're already at about 31.5% as things stand right now. Let's get to the expansion bit. According to Reuters, 23 countries have formally applied to become new members of BRICS. Russia, China, and South Africa seem to be more keen on expansion. India and Brazil apparently are on the fence. And, there are these statements from each of these countries which will come up all via Reuters, the news service. So this is what each of them have said. China is supportive. South Africa invited African countries. Russia will thinks that expansion will contribute to further development. India, interestingly, there was a comment made by the foreign minister who said that, we've got reservations about the expansion, but if it has to happen, then it should be via consensus. And this is, of course, the Brazilian position. They're saying that they're concerned with the cohesion of the group and their place in the bloc. Of course, this is going to be a crucial thing, expansion, and whether it happens or not when the summit starts. But there is another thing, right? We talk about common currencies. People paying in not the USD, but moving away from US dollars to other things. Now, a common BRICS currency seems to be extremely unlikely. It's very hard to implement. So that's not the thing. But could there be some sort of a, common payment network which perhaps emerges? There is something called BRICS Pay, which was set up some while back, but it's been languishing. Could that be given a bit of a boost? Remember, just recently, you had Indian refiners which started paying oil imports from Russia in yuan, in Chinese yuan. So there is this push to move and kind of move to non-dollar currencies, local currencies, basically. So that is something which perhaps could be developed on a priority as we look ahead. So this is going to be an interesting one. They say normally, and India is referred to as the last man standing in the BRICS bloc. But you've got others like China, Russia, etc., which are perhaps going through their own troubles. And it'll be interesting to see the interplay. There will be perhaps other headlines, etc., which are watched from the sidelines in the summit. India and China are not on the best of terms. So those things apart, I think it's going to be an interesting one. So just wanted to highlight some of the stuff to you guys. Sonia.
Okay, Prashant, thanks a lot for that. And we've completely run out of time on this edition of Editors Roundtable. So Amish, thanks a lot for being with us here in the studio. And you folks, thanks for watching. Keep it with CNBC TV18. See you bright and early on Monday.